Well, hey, Steve, happy Friday, man. How you doing?
Cory, doing all right. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. It's sun's out. It's got a nice crisp fall day here in sunny SoCal. Can't wait to get out. Actually, I'm gonna get out and do a little remote work from Torrey Pines Glider Park. So I'm kind of excited about that.
Beautiful, beautiful. It's a crisp 30 degrees here in Colorado, but the sun is shining, so no complaints.
Nice. Well, hey, glad to have. Welcome to the InnSync show. Can you give us a quick intro on yourself? Be great.
Yeah, my name is Steve Carran. Currently, I'm the director of sales at Stayflexi, and also the co-host of the Modern Hotelier podcast.
Fantastic. Well, this is old hat for you then, man. You're gonna knock
man.
it apart
On the other side of the mic.
Exactly. Anybody that's got brings their own mic to the deal. You know, they're a true veteran. So that's fantastic. Great. So I came up with a topic. I knew you were going to knock this one out. The guest experience dilemma.
Yes.
Fantastic. So what's some of the biggest challenges facing and keeping guests happy today?
I think there goes a lot into the guest experience. I think personalization is a big thing. But I think the thing is a couple things. I think guests right now, they're so focused on experiences. Since COVID, just kind of being in lockdown for however long. And now travelers are ready to, go to new cities and explore. They're not just looking to stay in a hotel and relax. And some people are, I'm sure, but I think a lot of the travelers right now are all experience based. So I think one thing that, is kind of challenging for hotels is to incorporate experiences, hyper local experiences, things like that into not only the booking process, but also the guest experience a little bit as well. And I think we'll get there. But I think that's one of the challenges right now is just kind of, attributing these experiences to this kind of new traveler mindset of, wanting to experience the most when they go to these new cities and experience a hyper local experience as well.
And I can only imagine staff shortages probably don't make that element any more easier. So front desk overloaded, right? Somebody's asking questions. The front desk may or may not even have that type of experience. So I imagine that's even compounds the problem.
Absolutely. And that's why, I think kind of the mobile side of things is so important. And it's funny, before COVID, I've been, we're in the PMS world for a minute. Hotel managers are like, nobody wants to do mobile check-in. That's not a thing that our guests want. And I never understood that. I'm like, they're Ubering to the airport and using their phone. Then they're checking in on their phone to the airport. I don't understand why they would want to go to a hotel and just be like, nope, I'm not going to use my phone, right? I think we need to give guests a choice where they can use their phone, and that will help out with staffing shortages. It's going to relieve the front desk a little bit, but we also do need that physical touch as well, right? So if a guest does use their phone but needs some help, I hope they have a great experience and a great human interaction with that person as well.
I love that. And the fact that you said it, the option. I love tech as well. And I always use the example of going to Jersey Mike's.
Yeah.
Jersey Mike's, I'm looking for a sandwich. I'm not looking for an experience, right? So I will stand out at Jersey Mike's and I will order my sandwich on my phone.
Absolutely.
Because I control the process. I know exactly what my sandwich is going to make right. I don't necessarily need the conversation, or I'm looking for experience by going down the line. It is fun sometimes, but I'm looking for a sandwich at that point. So, but I have the option of going in, doing it personally, or using the technology, and I'm not forced to do one or the other. So I think that's super important, definitely.
I agree. And it's like, sometimes I just want to do a mobile check-in, right? But there are times when maybe I'm in a chatty mood and I want to go to the front desk and I want to chat with somebody. So I think it's so important, and the variety of guests, just giving them an option, and they get to choose. It's not, I don't think we're in charge of that guest experience, but giving them that option.
I love that. Especially if you look and find out there's a line and you see tension up at front desk. Nope, I'm going to go to the mobile check-in. Avoid that altogether, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I just feel like every time I go to Las Vegas, I have the longest check-in lines, and that's like the one thing where, a lot of those hotels now do offer mobile check-in, and it's the lifesaver for me because I just see these lines and I'm like, this is at least 30 minutes right here, but then I can check it on my phone and, makes life a little easier.
Absolutely. Well, it's kind of a great segue into question 2. How are hotels dealing with that right now?
Yeah, I think a lot of hotels, I think COVID sped this up a lot. Like I said, hotels were still kind of on the fence. Some were very, forward thinking and into mobile check-in, but a lot of them weren't sure if that's what people wanted. But when COVID happened, we didn't have another choice. So now I think we have moved towards a more, I guess, everybody accepting mobile check-in, or most people and things like that. I think we still have a ways to go. I think now we're kind of focused. The next big thing is incorporating experiences into this day. Being able to book a sunset kayaking rental, book a brewery tour, right along when I'm making the reservation, or if I can't do it then, being able to do it while I'm in-house at the hotel. So being able to incorporate those experiences onto my stay, maybe more impulse decisions, right? I wake up and I'm like, oh man, I would love to rent a bike today and cruise around town. So, kind of incorporating those, and I think we're getting there. I think hotels aren't the quickest to adapt new technology. So, if we want to see how that plays out, but I work with a few hotels who are very forward thinking, and what they're doing right now and the experiences they're creating are pretty neat.
That's all. So why, a lot of people in the hospitality industry are very reluctant to be the pioneer. Right?
Yes.
We've had this conversation before as well, right? So what does it take for somebody that's hesitant? They're just not quite sure. Obviously, case studies and it's that, hey, this person's done it with a tremendous amount of success. But do you see some of those barriers dissolving, or, what does it take for somebody to say, God, how can we not try this? This sounds like a no-brainer, because along with that, ancillary revenue, providing that guest experience. But I'm also assuming there's a revenue opportunity there,
Absolutely.
right? Okay.
Absolutely. So, there are those people that focus on that, and there are those people that are really excited about new technology. I was just in San Francisco yesterday visiting hotels, and it was so funny. You have some people who you talk to that are so excited about new technology, how we can increase the guest experience, along with that, how we can bring in that revenue. But then you have people who just, that's not really top of mind for them. They don't want to provide that high technology touch. But for those people, I think what we need to do is, have conversations around that. Like, what are you nervous about? Like, kind of find out, like, hey, what's the worst case scenario that's going to happen here? And, and then also with that, talking to people who have gone through this before and talk about their experiences. This is hospitality, right? Like, let's talk to people who've done it before. Let's not reinvent the wheel. We don't have to do that. But, let's find out the experiences of how other hotels have gone through this transition, their experiences, how much revenue they're bringing, and things like that. So,
Sure.
So that's kind of it. I think there's just two different thought processes. Some people who are just ready for it and all in, and then some others that, are a little bit more lenient.
Right. Yeah. No, I completely agree with you on that. And I definitely see a tide is changing. And I think you'd mentioned it so well. COVID, I think, really put the gasoline on that transformation. One of which being dress code, right? Before COVID, you still got the coat, which I really appreciate. Dogs on laps. We've got conversations, babies, crying babies, a lot of things that would have never happened in the business, formality of hospitality. I think certainly a lot of those situations, the stigma has been kind of brought down. So along with that, it comes, I think, a lot of other open-mindedness about how we approach things that have been maybe plaguing us for so long. It's been, this industry, it's really built on that whole, if it ain't broke, don't fix it type of mentality, right? So
absolutely.
No, I love to hear. That's great. Suppose I'm going back up to San Francisco. We just talked about that. We've got a few clients as well up there. And I booked a trip 1 year from now. Mm-hmm. What could I expect if I'm gonna check into Hotel Griffin, October 28th, 2023?
Yeah. As I said, hospitality doesn't move too fast. So a year from now, I'm not sure how much it's going to change, but I think
3 to 5, maybe.
3 to 5.
Bump that up a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, Hotel Griffin specifically, I mean, especially in San Francisco, all those experiences you can have, especially at a location like Hotel Griffin. You have the ferry building down the road. You're not too far from like Pier 39 and that whole tourist area, so it's not going to be just checking into Hotel Griffin. It's going to be, I want a trolley tour. I want to do that. I want to go down to Pier 39 and I want to take a tour. I'm going to book a tour to Alcatraz. So it is going to be that those experiences you work into your hotel stay. And either I think there's going to be a little bit more of a divide. And then there will be people in the middle as well. But I think we're going to focus on some hotels are going to focus on automation, where you'll go to the front desk and there might not be a front desk person there and you're going to do everything from your cell phone. But then there's going to be these other hotels that are really focused on personalization. And, when you walk into their hotel, it's Mr. Carran, nice to meet you, happy to be back, and really focusing on that, providing that ultra personal experience. But I think experiences are gonna play a huge role, and obviously the mobile check-in and the mobility part of it's gonna, I think, get bigger and bigger over the next couple of years.
Fantastic. What you just described obviously has been a concierge, right?
Yeah.
So do you see technology completely replacing that?
No.
Okay.
No,
yeah,
not at all. Not at all. I love concierge. I think concierge are my favorite people in the hotel because they have all the secrets to the city. Right? Like, if whatever I want, I can go to a concierge, tell them exactly what I want to do, and they'll be like, okay, you got to check this out. If I'm in town on a Sunday and I'm like, hey, I got to watch the Packers, like find me a Packer bar where I can watch the game and enjoy myself on a Sunday afternoon. And they'll tell me, oh, there's a great Packer bar up the street you got to go to. So there's that personal touch, right? Which technology isn't there yet. And, I don't know if it ever will. Well, maybe we'll see. But, but there's also that convenience factor with technology. So people are not, I don't think concierges are going to go anywhere, and I hope not. I'm a big fan of all concierges, so I hope they're not going anywhere anytime soon.
Yeah, I meant to ask it, and me as well, because I love, even they seem to have like all the hidden gems or secrets or even tickets in their back pocket, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And so what I like most is they've got great stories most often.
Yes.
There's a guy, Michael, down here at Hilton Gaslamp here in San Diego, and I can't believe he's been there for probably 15, 20 years, but he's one of those guys he's always got the buzz or something cool. I just go see him because he's going to tell me some really cool story.
Yeah, he's got that great energy that like attracts you to come visit him, and you remember that, and you just told me. So now I want to go stay at that property because of this one concierge, and that's hospitality right there. That's all. It's all about people. It's all about connecting. So that's why I don't think that. I hope the concierge never leaves, because, like I said, it's all about that connection. Yeah,
and I totally agree with you. And I think one of those things with technology and sometimes it's just not, it's a round peg in a square hole. And remember early on when, it's these adoptions of technology that are just not the right fit. You remember when they rolled out the whole robot in Japan?
Yeah.
And it's just, people were not down with it.
Yeah.
It went down in flames. And it's just like, it has to be the appropriate way it's presented. Technology
Absolutely.
is great, but you just can't. Thankfully, right? We would be completely out of jobs, especially in hospitality. So I'm glad to say that could never be replaced.
And I think we're coming into this stage where I think we're getting comfortable with technology in hospitality, right? It's not it's going to take away from the guest experience. We're finally realizing, hey, we can use technology and still create a great guest experience. And I think we're moving in, it's a phygital stage we are moving into, where we do have the digital side of everything, but that physical connection and that interaction you receive is also important. So how you can marry those two to create an easy experience, but also create a memorable one as well.
Absolutely. I loved, you began with the illustration of Vegas. You've got both. You could weigh your decision of a quick check-in, or, it's fun to sit in those velvet ropes and have conversations of people, right? Hey, where are you from? Oh, I'm from New Jersey. I'm from New York. And Vegas is that kind of place where it's almost like the experience is standing in line for check-in, because you're going to meet some totally unique person you would have never met.
Absolutely. And especially if you're like going there for conferences, for work events and stuff like that, you'll often be standing next to people that are going to the same conference as you.
Right.
It's just a phenomenal networking opportunity to just stand in line and wait to check in and chat with those around you.
But on the flip side of that, you look at that, but you got to be someplace. I got a mobile check-in. I'm going to sidestep that line. Boom. So you got both options. So I think that is definitely that delicate dance of offering both solutions, giving the guest their choice, let them control the experience. And that ultimately is going to make them happy, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Giving people choices, I don't think anybody's ever going to complain unless you're giving them, too many. But in this case, I don't think people are going to complain.
I love that. Before we part, I would love to get some Steve Carran secret sauce. What could you share with us today?
Man, secret sauce. I don't know if I have much secret sauce. I just try. I think as we're going through this, and kind of COVID changed a lot of hospitality and just us as people. So I think as you go, I always try to remain positive throughout anything I do, and just kind of appreciate the journey here that we're going through as not only an industry, but also our personal journeys as well. So just always have that positive attitude. And my sister gave me the best advice before I went to high school. She told me, she's like, be nice to everybody, and that's the best advice I think I've ever got in my life. So that's just, I don't know if it's secret sauce at all, but those are kind of the rules I try to abide by.
Oh, I love that. You're one of those people that you've got a smile on your face, a perma-grin 24/7.
I try.
Right? And it's infectious. I mean, how, with so much tension and angst going on, I mean, avoiding the news.
Oh yeah.
Word that it's just something I don't look forward to. So it can easily take you in the wrong direction. So I love to have conversations and circle myself around people that are positive, that always upbeat, to find the rosy side. There's always a rosy or positive side of everything, right?
Absolutely. And when there's not, that's when you're growing the most, right? When things are hard and when you're going through those times, that's when the most growth happens. So, there's always different ways to look at it. When things are going great, hey, you worked hard, you deserve these good times. But when things are bad, that's when you're growing, and that's when you're becoming probably a better human being during those times and learning some real life lessons. So it's always how you look at things. And that's one thing, just always try to have that positive attitude.
Yeah, I totally agree. And it's that struggle. That's where the growth comes in. But looking at the struggle and going, here's an opportunity for me to change things, right? Yeah. Because if the pain is not great enough, there won't be change.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I 100% agree. I 100% agree. Kobe Bryant he talks about the Mamba mentality. Like when you're stuck and you don't know where to go, just work hard, and your hard work will put you in good positions to succeed. So those are kind of always, if you're in a tough spot, just keep going. You'll get out. You'll make it. So. Oh,
that's great stuff, man. Love it. Especially on a Friday heading into the weekend.
Man, we're excited.
Yes. So, hey, gonna have you on again. Love the convo. I could sit here and talk with you for hours. I know you've got trail dust on just from traveling. So I appreciate you popping on here for a quick convo, Steve.
Cory, this was a blast, man. This is how I wanna go into the weekend. I appreciate you having me on. This was a good time. Thanks so much.
You bet. Hey, where can people find you, by the way?
Yeah, I'm easy to find. You can find me on LinkedIn. You can search for Steve Carran there. Otherwise, you can shoot me an email, steve.carran@stayflexi.com. But yeah, pretty easy to get a hold of. Shoot me a message. I'll respond.
Right on, man. Thanks so much. Have a great weekend.
Yeah. Thank you, Cory. Have a good one.
See you, brother.